Hi guys, Ken Chigbo, aka KenFX Freak, back with another week roundup and look ahead to the key events. Let's just quickly recap what went on in the markets fundamentally last week. Well, it's very much about dollar being annihilated, battered. It's been smashed, right? It's been smashed and it ended the month again on a negative note. If you look behind me or here, you can see we've had 1, 2, 3 consecutive months of dollar selling. Okay, now why have we seen that? There isn't one particular catalyst, guys. There's a few reasons. One, obviously, US economy essentially a little bit underperforming in comparison to some of its peers, right? And I say that in the sense of dealing with COVID-19, a huge economic weight on the shoulders of the economy on the United States. Dealing with that, they've had the rising cases, of course. They're still averaging the top end of 50 towards sort of 60k daily new cases, which is not good. Largely much worse than peers, like for example in Europe, UK, so on and so forth. So why would you want to be sitting on the dollar if the economy is essentially crippling? We had the GDP worst reading since the Great Depression. We have seen the failed agreement so far, failing to agree, US politicians, on a fiscal stimulus plan that is much needed for the US citizens. And then we've got, obviously, the FOMC. We had a dovish rate decision last week. They've left the door wide open for more stimulus, QE, diluting the economy with loads of dollars. So, look, if you look at the dollar, I think we spoke about this together a few weeks ago. This M structure with a Dixie, right? M structure, here's the neckline around sort of 96.37. Boo, smash that neckline to the downside. All right, look at that. That's the worst performance we've seen for the Dixie in over a decade, guys. Huge downside there. Are we going to get a technical correction for the dollar? Potentially how we ended on Friday. We ended up actually finishing in the green. Somewhat of a bullish engulfing candlestick of Thursday. Right, and this has been extended to the upside. So maybe we have got a bit of recovery here. This was a huge demand area that we'd sort of noted to our members at Freak Network. Huge demand area where the price has previously been supported, found support rather. But if we look at the monthly, I'd say, let's just look at this with nothing on it. That wick's going to be filled. It's just this pullback, it's a bit of a technical one to be sold, okay? In my view, technical pullback to be sold. So that's just what we're observing at the moment. So what I've got marked up here on a 4-hour was somewhat of a sort of ascending channel structure flag set to be broken potentially to the downside. Jumping over to gold, obviously gold remains well supported at the moment. Well supported. We've really pointed out some good trade opportunities here for our members at Freak Network. But, we've had a flag here. There's a pennant here as well that I've removed. Consolidation, flag breakout, another flag. We're subject to another breakout to head to that 2,000 buck mark. Gold's loving people using it as a hedge, right? Hedging against all the risks that still remains in the market somewhat. But then gold's loving all this QE, so much central bank QE, so much stimulus right now. So 2,000 bucks is eyed there. With euro dollar, having a bit of a technical correction here, a bit of downside. Last week, though, really solid performance there for euro. Again, we've got this wick to the upside, I believe will be filled. We're just having a bit of a technical correction, some profit taking. It just depends how far back we're going to pull back, but those dips are likely to be bought. Institutions will be looking at those dips for sure. It's just where we're getting in for those dips. We've got to look at the key areas, really. If we look on a weekly, we've got to sort of look left around where we're going to be finding support. And we can see, just looking left here, we've got a reasonable area around sort of 116, sort of 80 to the downside. It's a bit of a range towards 116 on the nose as well. You can see where the price headed up to the upside here, consolidated, found support sub 116, then carried on to the upside. But as I say, just look out for those signs that we're going to creep back up to the upside again. I believe that will be seen just given that weekly structure. Same with GU. GU actually made a really significant advance, right? And we've just come up to some big weekly resistance at sort of 131.70. In line with the weekly there of sort of in March before the price headed to the downside. Remember this plummet? That was COVID-19 lockdowns. If we can break out of this range, get a weekly closure above this, we're just going to carry on extending to the north and perhaps we'll replicate the moves here that were seen in 2017, that bull run. You can see the market structure shifting massively for GBP. The risks still remain, though, with Brexit being unsolved. No agreement as of yet, I mean. You can see the daily candlestick on Friday, bit of a shooting star. Again, similar to euro dollar, we're going to be pulling back. You need to look out for those key areas. Mark them up on your charts. Key areas where we're next going to be finding support because those dips are likely to be bought, as I say. And then I just want to look at Aussie. Aussie's a bit of underperformer today because the state of Victoria has declared a sort of state of emergency. We're seeing restrictions again in the economy because of a bit of a surge in COVID-19 cases. A bit of a precautionary measure. Nevertheless, it's hurting AUD. As I say, one of the underperformers. But if we look at the weekly performance, again, I don't think the bullish momentum has run out yet. And we do have the RBA rate decision this week. And as I say, Australia has actually done really well at containing coronavirus. So I expect the central bank to be quite upbeat, optimistic tone, and carry AUD bulls, give them some reason to further extend to the upside. We're just creating a little wick below on this weekly candlestick. Dips to be bought, I believe. So overall, it's just how long is this dollar pullback going to be? I don't think it's going to last. Bear in mind, it's Monday today. Monday flows, not always going to be the definitive in terms of the incoming trend of this week. Guys, other than that, look, if you want daily fundamental and technical analysis, do not hesitate to check out us at freaknetwork.io. Check me on all social medias, KenFX Freak. But BlueFX, amazing solution, guys. I preach this every single time. If you want to become a polished trader, this is for you, okay? It's provide you the funding. If you go on and prove yourself and able to generate that 5% for withdrawal, 10% for growth, which is very doable, and implement in the right discipline that they preach, you'll be fine. Do check them out at BlueFX. Other than that, have an amazing week. Let's get it.